Echoes of Us, written by Azalea Moon. Previously on Echoes of Us. What began as a tender reunion has erupted into a storm of revelations. Camila and Sebastián, once separated by grief and time, now find themselves united by a cassette tape left behind by Camila's father. A recording that exposes Victor's dangerous corruption and hints at a truth Jorge died trying to protect. In the episodes leading up to now, we've seen Camila open her heart, Sebastián step back into her life, and Maggie, Camila's fiercely loyal best friend, demand answers with tequila in hand. But everything changed when a hidden camcorder revealed the ultimate betrayal. Victor didn't just manipulate the past, he did the unspeakable, and it's all on tape. As the truth crashes in and the danger becomes undeniable, Camila, Sebastián, and Maggie are left shaken. But one thing is clear, there's no turning back now. And now, the story continues with episode 12.
It's past midnight, but I barely register the time. The room is cast in shadows now, the only light coming from the flickering TV screen as the tape plays on. The only sound is the low, distorted audio coming from the television, the mechanical whir of old footage, the grainy echo of voices captured 17 years ago. It fills the room like a ghost we can't turn off. Sebastián hasn't moved. Maggie is rigid beside me, her hand still clenched in a death grip around the cushion. I can feel my own body vibrating with tension, though I'm sitting perfectly still, frozen, watching. On the screen, Victor looms over my father's slumped form. His expression isn't triumphant. Not quite. There's a flicker of something, maybe regret, maybe guilt, maybe just weariness, but it disappears the second he tilts his head and calls out,
"It's time, do it."
My anxiety is at 1,000, watching as the door creaks open farther and two men step inside. One moves like a surgeon, pulling out a black case with a quiet precision that makes my skin crawl. The vials glint under the harsh overhead lights. He fills a syringe without hesitation and pushes the needle into my father's arm. I fight back tears as I watch in horror as the second man takes Dad's other arm, smearing something along his skin. He jams another needle into Dad's limp hand like it's nothing, like this isn't someone's father, someone's life. They reposition him, slump him deeper into the chair, arrange his body like it's just another part of the set. I can't breathe. My chest feels too tight, like my lungs have forgotten how to work. My vision blurs, but I don't blink. I won't look away. I owe him this, to witness it, to see the truth. Maggie whispers,
"This isn't happening."
But it is. It did, right in front of us. And then, the man with the scar. He turns, faces the bookcase, faces us. On screen, he narrows his eyes, peering toward the hidden camera like he can feel it watching. My stomach flips, my nails dig into my palms. I swear for a second his eyes lock with mine, across years, across time, across death. He steps closer, tilts his head. Sebastián mutters something under his breath, too low to catch, but I hear the urgency in it. His body shifts like he's ready to spring up, like he's trying to protect me from something long gone. The scarred man doesn't move at first, just squints. His head tilts. I freeze, as if he might somehow see me through time, through tape. He steps closer, eyes narrowing.
"Let's go."
Victor's voice breaks through the silence. The man lingers, but then he turns and leaves. And just like that, they're gone. The office is quiet again. Just my father. Alone. They've been 30 minutes. 30. And the tape keeps rolling. My father's body slowly slumps with each passing minute. The light flickers. The air conditioner kicks on. Papers flutter. Nothing else moves. I'm sitting in a room with the people I love, and I have never felt more alone. And then the screen goes black, silence, until I scream. It rips out of me, loud and raw and endless. Bruno bolts under the table. Maggie leaps off the couch. Sebastián is already next to me as my body crumples onto the floor. The grief is too big, too heavy. It crashes down, cracking me open from the inside out. I can't breathe. I claw at my chest, trying to pull the air back in, but it's like drowning. Maggie is shouting, but her voice feels far away, like it's underwater. Sebastián gathers me into his arms. I don't remember how I got there, just the feel of his arms holding me together while I fall apart. He rocks me gently, whispering into my hair.
Breathe, see? Try to breathe. Maggie and I are here. It's okay. You'll be okay.
But it's not okay. It will never be okay again.
For the next hour, I just sit with her. The bathroom is filled with steam, lavender bubbles threatening to spill over the sides of the tub. But Camila doesn't even flinch. She lies there like a ghost, her eyes open but blank, staring past me, past the tiles, past everything. Her fingers rest limply in my hand. I don't let go. She hasn't said a single word since that scream. I knew it was bad, of course I knew, but nothing could have prepared me for the sound that came out of her. It was the kind of sound that doesn't come from your throat. It comes from somewhere deeper, primal. I'll hear that scream in my sleep for the rest of my life. I don't try to talk. Not yet. Some wounds are too fresh for words. I just sit with her, one hand holding hers, the other tracing slow circles on the side of the tub, as if I can soothe the air itself. I hum quietly, not even a song, just noise, something soft, human, grounding. Every once in a while she shivers, and I add a little more hot water. When her breathing finally evens out, I know she's not asleep, but I think her body's finally reached its limit. Her fingers twitch slightly in my hand, and I take that as my cue. I help her sit up. She lets me, like a puppet on invisible strings. The air hits her skin and she shudders again. "Let's get you warm," I whisper, my voice cracking. I wrap her in the biggest, softest towel I can find and guide her to bed. She doesn't fight me, doesn't help either. She's too far gone. I dry her hair gently, like we're kids again, like we're getting ready for a sleepover and not mourning the loss of her entire world. I tuck her in, smoothing the blanket over her shoulder. She curls into it like a child, small and breakable. Still no words. That's what scares me the most. I pull the armchair closer to the bed and sit, leaning forward, elbows on my knees, watching her. Bruno hops up beside me, sensing something he can't name, but wanting to help anyway. I scratch behind his ears with one hand and hold Camila's hand with the other, even though she's already fallen into that restless, grief-heavy sleep. The silence in the room is deafening. She'll talk when she's ready, I know that, but still, I watch her chest rise and fall, steady but fragile, and I wonder how many more pieces she has left to break.
It's 4:07 a.m., and I'm holding myself together with a string. The call with Mari was necessary but brutal. I don't know how to say, "Hey, Camila, her best friend, and I just watched a tape of her father being murdered. Oh, and my brother orchestrated it all, and now she won't speak," without sounding like I'm losing it, because I am. Mari was quiet at first. Then she shifted into problem-solving mode. Efficient, calm, clinical in a way I can't be right now. She asked questions, took notes, said she'd start working her legal angles, said to keep Camila safe, said she'd be right over if needed. I almost told her yes. I nearly begged her to come, but I didn't. Now I'm just sitting here, phone still warm in my palm, staring at nothing. My hands won't stop shaking. The sound of light footsteps draws my attention. Maggie steps into the room like she's walking on glass, but she doesn't look surprised to see me still up. She glances toward the phone, then back to me.
"Everything all right?"
She asks, voice low, like we're in a church. I give her a smile that feels more like a grimace. Just talking to Mari, filling her in. She's better at this kind of thing than I am. She doesn't let emotion cloud judgment. Maggie just nods, understanding in her eyes.
This is heavy stuff.
We stand in silence for a few beats. Neither of us really knows what to say. What could we? Then I hear myself ask, how did we get here? I don't mean tonight. I mean all of it. 20 years of secrets, lies, and grief. Camila's haunted eyes. That scream. Maggie rubs her face with both hands.
I don't know, but I'm here. We're here, that's what matters right now.
I nod, just barely. That tiny bit of steadiness, her words, her presence, is something. A pin in the chaos.
Cece finally fell asleep, after I drugged her.
I blink. What?
Nothing heavy. Melatonin and tea laced with chamomile and a drop of something stronger.
She says with a shrug.
Don't worry, it's safe. She needed the rest.
Despite everything, I laugh quietly. It's not amused, it's desperate. Thank you for taking care of her, for always being here. Maggie just smiles. It's tired, but real.
Always. Try to get some rest. I'll be down the hall if you need me.
She turns and walks toward the stairs. I hear her pause outside Camila's door, just for a second. I know what she's doing, listening for breath, for signs of life, for something to hold on to. Then she disappears into the guest room, and I'm alone again. I don't know what time it is anymore, or when I last blinked. All I know is that there's no going back after tonight, and in the morning, everything changes. I check every lock twice, then once more for good measure. The deadbolt, the sliding latch, the windows on the first floor, the rooftop door. It's not paranoia, it's survival. Camila isn't safe, not just because of what she saw tonight, but because of what it means. That tape didn't just show a murder. It showed a truth powerful enough to bury people, or get them killed. And now she knows it. I glance through the window. A dark SUV is parked across the street, engine idling low. The private security I called earlier is inside, watching, not some official detail. It's my team, discreet, loyal, and no questions asked. It's not much, but it's something. A thread of control in a situation spinning fast out of hand. Before I left the living room, before I climbed the stairs, I sent the wire. Just a small transfer, nothing big enough to raise alarms, nothing that would make Victor question it. A gesture. A peace offering he doesn't realize is laced with a threat. It's not the first time I've sent him money. He's always had a way of making it seem like I owed him, even when I didn't. But tonight, it's different. Tonight, it's calculated. Just enough to keep him calm, just enough to make him believe I'm still under his thumb, still playing along. Because if Victor suspects even a fraction of what we know now, we're dead. Camila, Maggie, me. The tape changes everything, but for now I have to make it seem like nothing's changed at all. I hit send on the transaction and deleted the evidence. One less loose thread. One more lie added to the pile. Then I turn off the lights and head upstairs, every step heavier than the last. My thoughts are thick with Victor, his voice, his face, that flash of guilt on the tape. Was it real or just performance? I used to know the difference. Now I'm not sure of anything. Outside Camila's door, I stop. I take a breath, then another, and then I go in. The room is dim, lit only by the faint glow of the streetlight through the window. Camila's curled beneath the blanket, her breathing soft and shallow, like her body still doesn't trust that it's safe to rest. I slip into bed beside her slowly, careful not to wake her. My arms wrap around her instinctively, my hand resting on her stomach, my face pressed to the back of her neck. I can feel how fragile she is. Her body is warm, but she's shaking slightly even in sleep. I pull her closer, and then I break. The tears come before I can stop them, hot and silent. I squeeze my eyes shut, the pain blooming so deep I feel it in my bones. Jorge, I'm sorry. I couldn't protect you. I didn't even know you needed protecting. And now Camila's in pieces, and I don't know if I'm strong enough to hold her together. Victor's face flashes again in my mind. Years ago, standing over me as I bled from a busted lip some bully gave me. Victor had been all fury and fire then, younger but already magnetic. My protector, my hero. How did that boy become the man I saw on that tape? How did we fall so far? My voice breaks as I whisper, "How did it go so wrong, Victor?" Camila stirs slightly, her body responding to mine, even in sleep. I press my forehead to hers, letting that small contact anchor me. The room remains quiet, but for a moment in the silence, I feel something close to peace. And I hold on to that, because I don't know what tomorrow brings. But tonight, I'm not letting go.
I sit in my darkening office, the city lights below beginning their nightly dance across the polished surface of my desk. The text I receive from Sebastián still echoes in my head.
I need more time, Victor. I will transfer you money in the meantime.
A bitter smile tugs at my lips as I swirl the untouched whiskey in my glass. Money, it always comes back to that. At least he's learned something in prison. How to leverage what little you have. That thought sparks something unexpected in my chest. Pride. Yeah, 10 years behind bars hardened him. Taught him the lessons I spent years trying to shield him from. Funny, isn't it? Sending him to prison might have been the last real protection I ever gave him. Forced him to grow up. Look at him now, I muttered to my reflection in the window. Successful, respected, because of me. All because of me. Set the glass down with exact precision, muscle memory from years of measuring every move, every word. That same control built this empire, this illusion of legitimacy that's now cracking underneath me. The money laundering's gotten messier, more tangled with every passing year. The new partners are colder, more dangerous. And the debts? They're strangling me. I look down at Sebastián's transfer. 10 years ago, that kind of money would have seemed like a miracle. Now it's just another entry. Another thread in the web I've woven between us. I changed his diapers, I say to no one, voice low and tired. Saved every damn penny to buy his first headphones. Took the hits so he wouldn't have to. He owes me. A brother's debt doesn't expire. But the tape lingers in my mind like a cancer, festering beneath the surface of all my justifications. This empire, legitimate on paper, was built on betrayal, cemented with a mentor's blood. I told myself it had to be done. Jorge was too stuck in the past, too rigid to evolve. The business was changing. Somebody had to make the hard calls. I stand and walk to the wall of platinum records, markers of our rise, symbols of success. I trace my fingers along the frames, not looking for reassurance anymore, just remembering what each one cost. Behind every hit, a shell company. Behind every award, a lie. Nobody understands what it took to stay alive in this game, I whisper, my voice barely audible over the hum of the city below. The choices I had to make. The deals with devils. The word lodges in my throat. Sacrifices. Ramon's immaculate ledgers. Buried deep under years of falsified numbers. Jorge's final look. Betrayed. Stunned. The moment he realized what I'd done. Sebastián's youth, traded for survival behind prison walls. All of it, sacrificed on the altar of success, melted down and recast into these gleaming trophies on my wall, symbols of victory, proof of what I've built and what I've destroyed. But I feel it now, the foundation trembling beneath me. This empire is built on quicksand, and the ground is shifting fast. The tape! It's more than a threat to my reputation. It's my last lifeline. Evidence tying competitors to Jorge's death could be worth a fortune to the right buyer. Enough to clear some of the debts, maybe even secure a future. But even as I cling to that hope, I know the truth. That myth I spin for myself, the visionary leader, the burdened older brother who bore the weight so his sibling wouldn't have to, it's just another lie. Deep down, I know what I am. I'm my father's son. Drowning in danger, debts, and denial, tearing down everything I touch in the name of survival. The night presses harder against the windows. I can almost hear it, the tick of some unseen clock counting down to zero. Yeah, I'll take Sebastian's money for now. Let him believe he's buying time. Maybe he is. But the tape, it has to surface. And when it does, my phone lights up with another transaction. Sebastian, punctual as always. Good boy. The screen's blue glow cuts through the darkness, casting its cold light over my face. I catch my reflection. Older, sharper, worn. The same lines our father wore near the end. Time's ticking, little brother, I murmur, slipping the phone into my pocket. Raised a whiskey at last. The city lights shimmer in the glass, but the burn does nothing to chase away the taste in my mouth. Not fear, not regret, something worse. Certainty. In the window's polished surface, my reflection lifts its glass in a silent toast, and for a breathless second, I swear I see Jorge standing behind me. Watching. Eyes full of the same disappointment he wore the night everything fell apart. The whiskey sits like a stone in my gut. The room feels tighter by the second, like the walls are drawing in, choking me out. My phone vibrates again. Another message, no contact name, just the kind of number that never shows up twice. It reads, "Word on the streets is that our lovebirds have found each other. Do we have a problem?" I don't need to guess who sent it. Don, he never signs his name. He doesn't need to. When you run half the city from the shadows, politicians, cops, surgeons, label execs, you become a myth. But Don is no myth. He's the bastard reason I could never break out of the tier he set for me. He let us build this label as long as we remembered who really owned the neighborhood, and he spent 23 years making sure we were all just paying tenants. Now this. I stare at the message until the letters blur. How the fuck do you know everything? I mutter under my breath. Oh, it's true. Sebastian found Camila. Somehow, some way, they found each other again. And Don already knows, which means he's watching, listening, always a few steps ahead. My chest tightens. It's not just about them being together. He thinks something's happening. Maybe he suspects the tape is real. Maybe he thinks they're conspiring against him. Yo, maybe they are. But the thing is, I don't know if the tape even exists. Jorge said he had him. Threatened me more than once with recordings that would outlive him. Always vague, always dramatic, but I never saw a damn thing. Never heard 1 second of audio. That night, the night everything went to hell, one of the guys Don contracted said something odd. Said he thought he heard a tape running. He felt like someone was watching. But we tore that place apart. Nothing. And when Camila kept pushing for months afterward, insisting Jorge didn't die of an overdose, I figured if she had found anything, she would have gone straight to the cops. He didn't. So maybe Jorge was bluffing. Maybe it was just paranoia. Maybe the bastard wanted to go out holding leverage, even if it was fake. But maybe not. And if there is a tape, and Sebastian and Camila have it, and Don finds out before I do, I snatch my phone off the desk, heart slamming against my ribs, and dials Sebastian. Voicemail. Pick up, I hiss. Sebastian, it's Victor. Call me back immediately. This is serious. We need to talk. I hang up and grip the edge of the desk, forcing my breath to slow. I need to get to Sebastian before Don does. Because now, it doesn't matter if the tape exists. All that matters is who believes it does.
The morning light filters through the curtains, but it doesn't warm me. It just exposes everything. My swollen eyes, the hollow ache behind them, the way the world feels different now. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I don't think I ever will be again. I move slowly, each step feeling like it takes more energy than I have. My body's weak, but it's my mind that's dragging me down. The images from the tape keep flashing behind my eyes. My father's face, Victor's voice, the needle, the scream, the silence. I can't stay here. I can't sit in this house, surrounded by ghosts and bloodstains only I can see. I need space. I need air. I need to feel like something is still in my control. I find Maggie in the kitchen, wrapped in her old college hoodie, fingers curled around a steaming mug of coffee. Her eyes lift to mine, tired but searching. "Maggie," I say, my voice rough. "I need to get away. I need to go to Jersey, and I want you to come with me." Just for a little while. I don't know what else to do, and I can't be here right now. She blinks, and something in her expression shifts. Regret, sadness, love. She sets her cup down gently, and for a second, I hope, but then she adds,
I'm sorry, C. I'll be traveling to Europe. I've had these gigs booked for weeks. But you know what? I can cancel.
It hits harder than I expect. I forgot. Or maybe I just didn't want to remember. I nod even though my chest tightens. No, it's okay, I manage. I understand. Please, go be great. She rises from the stool and crosses the room, resting her hand on my shoulder. Her touch is warm, grounding.
You know I'd go with you if I could. You need to take care of yourself. Go to Sebastián. You'll be safe there, Cece. You know that.
I nod again, this time slower. My throat tightens, but I don't let the tears fall. Not yet. Thank you for last night, for staying, for everything.
Always.
Her smile is sad but sure.
You've got a long road ahead of you. But you're not alone. You've got people who care about you, okay?
Okay, I whisper. We hug, quick and tight, and then I turn away before I can break again. Upstairs, I pull out a suitcase and start to pack. Clothes, toiletries, the basics. But the tape? I pause. It's still downstairs. In the living room, inside the camcorder that's probably still sitting exactly where we left it after the horror show. The thought of touching it again makes my stomach twist, but I can't just leave it there. I force myself to go back down. The living room is quiet, dim. The camcorder sits on the coffee table like a loaded weapon. I approach it slowly, hands shaking, and press the eject button. The tape slides out with a soft mechanical click. I stare at it for a moment, just a small plastic rectangle, but it might as well be radioactive. I can't destroy it. I won't. It's the only proof we have. I carry it upstairs like it's made of glass, wrap it in one of Maggie's old scarves, and place it inside a fireproof lockbox from my closet, the one I used to keep my journals and letters from my dad. I close the latch and slide it into the lining of my suitcase. Downstairs, Sebastián had already stepped out to fill the car with gas and grab some food before we hit the road. He told me he'd be quick. He didn't want to leave me alone too long, not after everything. It's not over, not even close, but I'm still breathing. That has to count for something. Bruno's bark echoes from downstairs, pulling me back to the moment. I stare at my packed suitcase, heart heavy. Everything feels too quiet, too final. But I know what I need to do. When I head down, Maggie's already by the door, bag in hand. She's leaving for the airport. Europe calls, and even though I hate the timing, I understand. She has her own life, her own healing in a way. She turns at the sound of my footsteps. Her face softens immediately, and before either of us can speak, I throw my arms around her. I'm gonna miss you, I say, my voice cracking. So much. Her arms tighten around me, grounding me in a way only she can.
Be back before you know it, and you know how to reach me anytime. I don't care what time it is, C. You call.
I nod, my throat too tight for words. She pulls back, brushing a tear from my cheek.
You're doing the right thing. You need space. Just don't shut yourself off while you're there. Let Sebastián be there for you.
I'll try, I whisper. Maggie looks at me like she wants to say 1,000 things, but settles on the one that matters most.
You're not alone in this, okay? You never have been.
I nod again, and she gives my hand a final squeeze before stepping out into the early morning light. I watch her go, the sound of the car fading into the distance. I stand there for a moment, then turn back toward the living room. The camcorder still sits there, its presence like a wound no one knows how to treat. I don't go near it. Instead, I gather my bag, take one last look around the house, and step outside. Sebastian's waiting by the car, Bruno at his feet. His eyes meet mine, soft and searching.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I say, voice low but certain. I'm ready. We get into the car together, me, Sebastian, and Bruno, and as we pull away from the house, I don't look back. I've said my goodbyes. Now it's time to figure out how to live with what I know. And maybe, just maybe, how to heal.
The road stretches out in front of us, endless and sunlit, but all I can feel is the pressure closing in. My hands are steady on the wheel, but inside, I'm spinning. I talked to Mari this morning, early, while the rest of the house was still draped in silence. We have a plan. We'll regroup once we're settled at my place. Tomorrow we talk strategy, optics, next moves. That's what she said, like this is just another operation, another game of political chess. But this isn't politics. It's personal. It's blood. For years, I kept Victor at arm's length. I told myself I had boundaries. Told myself I was protecting what little decency I had left. But it was a lie. All I was doing was stalling. And now? Now it's too late for that. We have the evidence. Enough to bury him. The audio from Jorge. The footage. The kind of proof people can't explain away. But Victor's not alone. That's what Jorge's recordings made clear. There are others. Quiet. Watching. Dangerous. And if they find out what we have, what Camila saw... I glance at her. She hasn't moved in miles. Just stares out the window like she's trying to see a version of the world that doesn't exist anymore. I know that look. I've worn it myself, the one you get after the ground disappears beneath you. I want to reach for her hand, say something, but I don't, not yet. Bruno lets out a soft snore from the back seat. Somehow the sound makes the silence louder. I envy him in a stupid, irrational way. No guilt, no history. Just food, sleep, affection, a creature who loves with his whole body and doesn't understand betrayal. If only things were that simple. I shift in my seat, my eyes flicking back to the highway. The sun gleams off the hood and I try to focus on the present, on getting her there safely, on the steps we'll take next. But in the back of my mind, the questions still echo. How did that tape get out? Victor wouldn't make that mistake. He was always 10 steps ahead, always paranoid, always meticulous. He didn't leave evidence, he erased it, which means someone wanted us to find it. That terrifies me more than anything. Almost there, I murmur, not even sure if I'm saying it for her or myself. Camila doesn't respond. She just shifts slightly, her arms wrapped around herself, as if she's trying to hold the pieces of her together. I press a little harder on the gas. I need to get her to safety. I need to figure out what the hell we're really up against. And I need to do it fast. Finally, I break the silence. Can I ask you a question? She nods. How did you come across that camcorder? Camila doesn't look at me. She stares out the window at the trees blurring past, her voice distant when she answers.
2 nights after my dad died, I went to the studio late when I knew Victor would be at his weekly gambling game. I just needed to be alone in the place I grew up. I wanted to mourn my dad. Now that I think about it, I was mourning both of you.
Her words hit me harder than I expect. I never really thought about what my supposed death did to her. I knew it hurt. Of course it did. But hearing it out loud makes my chest tighten. Camila exhales shakily.
I stayed in my dad's office for a long time. If I'd known then what I know now, I never would have gone near that room.
She shivers, and I can tell the memory still unsettles her.
I was sad, but more than anything, I was angry. 2 of the 3 most important people in my life were taken away in suspicious ways. After Dad died, I told Maggie she wasn't allowed back in the studio. I don't even know why. Something inside me wanted to protect her from that place of death. 3 deaths are tied to that studio, Sebastian. 3. Well, 2?
Our hands find each other, and I squeeze hers briefly. I don't need to ask who she means. She takes a sharp breath and steadies herself.
That night, fueled by anger, I started cleaning up. I packed things I thought my dad would have wanted saved. Books, papers, anything important. That's when I found the camera. I didn't think much of it at first. It was buried under some books. I assumed Dad had placed it there and it just slipped back. I wanted to see what was last recorded, but the battery was dead. So I tossed it into a box and forgot about it.
Camila shakes her head, a bitter smile on her lips.
I should have checked it sooner.
I reach over and take her hand, squeezing it firmly. I want her to know she's not alone. The truth has a way of revealing itself when it's ready, I say softly. She finally turns to me, her dark eyes heavy with exhaustion, anger, and something fragile underneath. I hold her hand for a moment longer before returning it to the wheel. The road ahead feels long, but we're finally moving toward something like justice. My hands clench the wheel tighter, knuckles whitening as those words echo in my head.
Find Sebastián. He's alive.
I glance over at Camila. She's already looking out the window again, her face a mix of realization and frustration. I hear the sudden sharpness in her voice, a burst of emotion breaking through the quiet as if reading my mind.
My dad knew you were alive. It's like my brain is finally catching up after all this chaos. He said it on the tape.
If you're hearing this, I'm gone. I tried, mija. I really did. I wanted to believe there was a way to fix things, but Victor, he won't stop. You can't trust him. He will come for you, for anyone in his way. Find Sebastián, he's alive. He's the only one who can help you now.
She turns to me abruptly, disbelief and frustration twisting her face.
Like, what the fuck? Talk about secrets, Dad.
I exhale slowly, mind spinning. I'd spent years thinking Jorge never knew, that I had disappeared quietly, that my death was convincing enough. But Jorge knew. That realization hits hard. How long do you think he knew? I ask, my voice low, careful. Camila shakes her head, her expression tight.
I don't know. But if he left that message, he knew he was going to die. He knew Victor was coming for him. And he still didn't tell me while he was alive.
There's a rawness in her voice, a pain I recognize all too well. The sting of being left in the dark, betrayed by the ones who should have protected you. I'm sorry, I say quietly. She lets out a bitter laugh.
For what? You didn't keep this from me. He did.
She looks away, shaking her head.
I just don't get it. If he knew you were alive, why didn't he do something? Why didn't he tell me sooner? Why didn't he...
Her voice catches, and she swallows hard.
Why didn't he help?
I don't have an answer. I think to myself, maybe Jorge thought he could outsmart Victor. Maybe he convinced himself he could keep Camila safe without dragging me back into the mess. Maybe, in some twisted way, he believed that keeping the truth from her was protecting her. Or maybe Jorge was just buying time, trying to fix things before everything fell apart. And that time? It ran out. I break the silence. Maybe he was trying to figure out a way to get you out first. Maybe he thought if he told you too soon, you'd go looking for me, and Victor would catch on. Camila presses her fingers to her temples, her voice tight.
I don't know.
She sighs, leans back against the seat.
I need to stop thinking about this before my brain explodes.
I want to tell her to rest, but neither of us is going to get real rest anytime soon. From the back seat, Bruno snores loudly, completely oblivious to the tension thickening the air. Camila lets out a soft chuckle, shaking her head.
I swear I'd give anything to switch lives with him right now.
I smirk, but my mind's still tangled in all the revelations. Jorge knew. That changes everything. I blink at her as she keeps laughing, like she just heard the best joke ever. My brain, soaked in conspiracies and betrayals, feels like it's spinning, like I'm high. Did Maggie drug us? I ask, disbelief heavy in my voice. Camila wipes a tear from the corner of her eye, gasping between laughs.
Yes, she probably put it in the coffee she bought before she left.
I glance down at the half-empty cup in my holder, feeling betrayed. What the hell, man? She clutches her stomach, still laughing. I swear, Maggie gets THC in any form she can. She says it calms her brain lobes from arguing with each other. I chuckle, exasperated. She can't just go around drugging people. I'm driving. Still giggling, Camila waves it off.
I know. I'm sorry.
She bites her lip, trying to hold back another laugh, but fails.
But think about it. My friend's kind of a genius. She knew today would be crap, that our brains would be working overtime. She basically saved us from a very awkward, very sad ride.
I rub a hand over my face, sighing, but a small smile creeps onto my lips. The weight of betrayal and danger is still there, but for now, the haze lifts. I exhale, half joking. So what? We just accept that we've been low-key roofied by your best friend? Camila grins.
We accept that Maggie is smarter than both of us, and that we owe her a thank you.
She raises the empty coffee cup.
So cheers to Maggie.
I shake my head but raise my cup in mock salute. To Maggie. Bruno senses the shift and stretches out, letting out a satisfied sigh before rolling onto his back, waiting for belly rubs. I glance over at Camila. She's still smiling, her head resting against the window, finally at peace for a moment.
I take this rare moment of calm for what it is, a brief pause before the next storm hits. The car moves slowly up the long driveway. The ocean breeze drifts through the air, making the tall trees lining the property sway gently. I catch the distant sound of waves crashing against the shore. It's soothing, but it does little to ease the knot twisting in my stomach. Then I see the two other cars parked near the entrance. My pulse spikes. Who else is here? I swallow hard and glance at Sebastián. He's still wearing that damn smirk. Why are you grinning like that? I ask, my voice tight. My fingers twitch in my lap, fighting the urge to reach for the door handle and run. He catches the shift in my mood immediately. His smirk softens as he reaches over and squeezes my hand, trying to ground me.
Relax, you're safe.
I want to believe him, but the paranoia gnaws at me. It's been a brutal 24 hours. My dad's message, the tapes, Maggie drugging us, bless her, and now Sebastián's huge estate with mysterious cars parked outside. It's all too much. Bruno lets out a low grumble from the back seat, like he senses my unease. Sebastián parks and turns to me, reading my hesitation.
Come on, Cece. I wouldn't bring you here if I thought for a second you weren't safe.
I take a sharp breath, my fingers gripping the door handle, but not moving just yet. Then whose cars are those? I ask, forcing my voice to stay even. His expression flickers, something unreadable passing over his face, but he answers smoothly.
Mari's here, and some of my guys.
My heart slows a little. Mari. Okay, I can handle Mari. Still, a flicker of doubt lingers. And who are your guys? I press. He exhales through his nose, running a hand through his hair before facing me fully.
They work for me. Mari and I run a private security firm.
A private security firm? Why didn't you tell me that before?
Honestly, I figured you had enough to take in already, and discretion is kind of the whole point of what we do. But if you're staying here, things are different now.
After a moment, I let out a slow breath and reply, okay. As we pull up to the house, both security cars immediately come to life. Two men step out in perfect synchronization, their movements sharp, precise, like something out of an action movie. Black suits, earpieces, stoic faces. I blink, stunned, feeling like I've just wandered onto the set of some political thriller. Before I can even wrap my head around it, one of them opens Sebastian's door. The other moves to my side and opens mine with a firm knock. I hesitate, blinking at the gesture. Am I the first lady now? The thought makes me fight back a laugh. It's ridiculous, surreal. The last 24 hours have been hell, and now I have my own personal security detail. Sebastian catches the flicker of amusement in my expression and smirks.
Cece, meet Officer Jones and Officer Rodriguez. They'll be keeping an eye on things.
I slowly remove my sunglasses, revealing glossy, slightly unfocused eyes. Damn you, Maggie. Clearing my throat, I nod at the two men. Gentlemen, my voice sounds way too serious for how much I want to giggle. Officer Jones gives a curt nod.
At your service.
Officer Rodriguez follows suit.
Welcome, Mrs. Narváez.
Mrs. Narváez? The words hit me like a punchline. I press my lips together, forcing a polite smile. Right, well, thanks. Sebastian shoots me a knowing look but says nothing. He just gestures toward the house.
Come on, let's get inside. We have a lot to talk about.
I nod, the laughter in my chest finally settling as reality crashes back in. We made it here, safely. But that doesn't mean the danger's gone. I take a deep breath and follow Sebastian inside.
That's it for this week's episode of Echoes of Us. But the story is far from over. New episodes drop every Thursday, so be sure to follow, subscribe, and never miss a moment. Thank you for listening and being a part of the story. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed the episode, please consider leaving a review or sharing with a friend. It helps more listeners find us. Until next time, listen closely, because sometimes the past isn't as far away as it seems.